asking you to make me from those who love you, and for those who love you to love me too.
Welcome to Deen Matters, and today's show is another one of those shows that is really close to my heart. What is it? It's the great outdoors. The great outdoors, brothers and sisters. And how many times have you actually had a chance to go out and explore and to feel the benefits of Allah's creation? Before I introduce my guests today, I'm going to introduce you to my guest in another way, because we actually have a video which I want you to watch. And I want you to enjoy this video, inshallah. And then at the end of it, I want you to actually come back, and then we can have a great discussion about one of the benefits of our creation, the creation that Allah has, bestowed upon us. It's just wonderful. So I want you to see it now, inshallah. If the video is ready, then watch the video now, and I'll see you at the other end of it, inshallah.
We spend nearly all of our lives surrounded by the concrete cities constructed by our own hands. This often leads us to forget that what we build has no comparison to the magnificence of God's creation. The beautiful, unspoilt rolling landscapes of the national parks are sights that simply must be seen. I discovered the Lake District as a child. I used to come up every year with my dad, and we used to do our annual visit here. I spent a lot of times by the lakeside, having picnics. I've got so many amazing childhood memories of spending time with the family, picnics, swimming in the lake, boat rides. It became very much part of me and my nature. And growing up as an adult, I re-engaged with the national parks, especially with the Lake District, because this is a place that makes me feel inspired. What is there to do in the Lake District on a sunny day?
Well, on a sunny day, there's an endless choice of things to do. People might want to go for a short walk. They might want to have a go at something they've never done before. Perhaps come out here on Windermere and have a go at something like canoeing, or learn how to use a GPS system or something like that. They can go up into the hills and have a look round somewhere like Tarn House, which is a beautiful tarn with a setting in the mountains around the hills, so an absolutely lovely day out for them there. There's an endless choice of things. Looking at beautiful waterfalls, such as the one up in Olswater, Air of Force, endless choice of things to do. And the idea is we can point people in the right direction, give them an idea of how to get there, what to do, what they need to wear for the experience that they haven't done before.
We're here in Greenside in the Lake District. We've just come up from Glenridding, which this pass then will take us further up to Helvellyn. There's some great places to stay here. There's the Youth Hostel Association, which is a great place. It's got places to eat here, and it's great for groups and for families to come and stay. And there's also a bunk barn here behind where groups can hire it out, the whole building if they want to, and it's a self-catering facility. The greatest thing about staying here really is the spectacular views that we'll see now. It is God who has made the earth a dwelling place for you and made the sky a canopy. He has shaped you and shaped you well and given you good things as sustenance. Such is God your Lord. Blessed is God, the Lord of the universe. He is the ever-living. There is no God other than Him. So turn to Him sincerely, having faith only in Him. Praise be to God, the Lord of the universe. The Holy Quran, chapter 40, verse 64 to 65. Helvellyn. Wordsworth's favourite mountain is the favourite of thousands more, who regularly trek to its summit at 3,116 feet.
Journey of many people living by the side of the road. Tell me, how can we pass them by when we can see from their
It is indeed a grand climb, but its popularity should not mask its difficulty, as it has arduous stretches, especially on its jagged eastern edges.
And faces will be stained with dust. We need to love those that the world.
If you're thinking of venturing onto the hill, make sure you're prepared for sudden changes in
We
weather.
have to share the blessings that we have been given. If we see wrong,
Snowfall is not unknown on the tops even as late as June, and dense mist can envelop them at any time.
Allah, by the grace of Allah.
If you're a novice, try joining one of the many organised
There are
groups.
many people exposed to cold, heat and rain. How can we pass them by? How can we
The arduous climb may have taken your breath away, but so will the views from the top of Helvellyn. From here you'll be able to enjoy views to the north, along the valley towards Keswick, and east beyond the mountain lake, Red Tarn to the distance, and high peaks of the Pennines.
that the world has forgotten, and we have to share the blessings that we have been given. If we see wrong, then we must strive to put
Breathtaking.
it right. With the help of Allah, by the grace of Allah.
I got involved with the Lake District through a project called Mosaic. Mosaic was a project which started off 10 years ago, and the idea in this phase was to get more ethnic minorities engaged with the national parks. And when I was introduced to this project, I jumped for joy, really. It was just up my street, and I just thought this is such a perfect opportunity for me to just share the passion that I have with the local community that I serve, share my experiences that I've had of the Lake District as a child and growing up, and share it with the people that I love. Mosaic's given me opportunities that I'd not had before. It's given me skills, first aid training, given me the confidence to be able to not only come out here and climb places like this, but also then to also bring groups out and other people out with confidence and share those experiences. There are signs for people who use their reason. In the creation of the heavens and the earth, in the alternation of day and night, in the ships that sail on the sea carrying goods that are of profit to humanity, in the water that God sends from the heavens which revives the earth after its death, in the scattering of all kinds of animals, in the changing courses of the winds and the clouds pressed into service between the heavens and the earth. The Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 164. Basically, this is one of the things that you can do at the Lake District. Take a boat ride across one of the lakes. This is Ullswater. This is one of my favourite places to come. It inspired poets like Wordsworth. And it's one of the most amazing lakes, I think, in the Lake District. My first memory of coming to Ullswater was mind-blowing. I can't even describe it in words really. I was just so taken aback by the amazing beauty, the mountains. I think my eyes couldn't take it all in really. It was just too beautiful, I can't describe it. It's like a love story, an untold love story. Made me feel so inspired that it made me feel like I needed to write poetry, write articles. If you look around, you can't not be amazed. And for me, it reminds me of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His creation. It makes me feel very humbled that I'm surrounded by such amazing sights.
Well, if someone hasn't been to the Lake District before, obviously the first thing we'd love them to do is drop in and see us. We're open every day now throughout the year apart from Christmas Day, so we're always going to be available to help people plan their holiday in the Lake District, whether they're here for a whole week or they've just got a few hours for one day. So drop in, have a quick cup of coffee with us, gather some of the leaflets from our foyer area downstairs, have a chat with one of the staff, let them know exactly what your aspirations are, and then go out and enjoy.
I feel really honoured to have been able to show you just a few glimpses of places as grand as the imagination. All that's left is for you to come and experience them for yourselves.
MashaAllah, brothers and sisters, what do you think of that? That was really beautiful, MashaAllah. And I tell you something, when we're out there filming, the whole experience was just amazing. And, you know, just the things that you can do when you're out in there, the Lake District and all these other places, it's absolutely amazing. But listen, enough about that and what I think about it. Let me introduce you now to my very special guest today, which is Sister Aisha Mirza, who is a Mosaic community champion. Assalamu alaikum, Aisha.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I mean, this is what you've done for such a long time now as part of your life, right? And in the video you mentioned about, you know, your father taking you out there as children. Okay, so, you know, what a story. I mean, how old were you when you first went out there?
Oh, very young actually, as far back as I can remember, to be honest. My dad was always a keen outdoors person. He loved taking us out, throwing me and my brother in the car, and off we'd go. And it was definitely an annual thing. We'd always go up to the lakes at least every year. It's always been like that as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
And as I got older, my dad made me his map reader, and he'd say, right Aisha, you read the map and I'll drive. So we've done some amazing tours. Whenever we had relatives over from Pakistan, he'd say, right, off we go. He goes, don't tell me where we're going. You read the map, you take us, you navigate us. So we'd go on crazy tours. We've seen a lot of the UK, actually, mashallah, growing up, yeah, alhamdulillah.
Your dad sounds like an amazing man, because this is the type of, you know, father that we all crave. Like, we want someone like that who can just take us out on a regular basis. So he sounds amazing. Okay, and so what age were you when you actually stopped going with the whole family?
I think what changed for me is we always did it every year. It was an annual thing as a whole family, and I think when I had my own children, with young babies, it became a little bit difficult doing it independently, because before that it was always with dad or with the family, with extended family. They'd organise it, or dad had planned it, and we'd go along. But then to be able to go and do it independently, I didn't feel as confident. And then plus with having small children, you know, to juggle babies and worrying about baby facilities, or, you know, if you're a parent and you're feeding your baby yourself, it was just trying to kind of juggle all of that.
Yeah.
So it kind of over the years became a lesser and lesser thing. We'd still go, but not as regular as we used to.
With the that was your whole family.
Yeah, as a whole family.
So what about? I mean, like obviously now, all those years it was your father that was taking you out, and then now you decided, okay, look, now I'm gonna organise a trip. I mean, what was that like? Sort of the gap from the last time with your family and until when you actually started to go on your own or actually organise by yourself. I mean, what was that process like?
It was a difficult one
Yeah.
because like I said, I kind of didn't feel confident enough to do it myself, and that's where Mosaic came into it. Because Mosaic then helped me.
Well, we're going to talk about Mosaic just now. So basically, you're saying you didn't actually go on your own until you became part of.
Yeah,
Okay.
I kind of stopped
problem.
going. I didn't
go
go
at
as
all.
often. Yeah, I kind of.
All right. So okay. So tell us about Mosaic then. We noticed, you know, it says a community champion.
Yeah,
I mean, what is a community champion and what is Mosaic?
Basically, Mosaic is led by CMP, which is Campaign for National Parks, and what they're a charity, and what their aim is to do is to have to protect and promote the national parks first and foremost, and then the second part of it is also to have as many people, the largest cross section of the British population, and encourage them to also care about their national parks. And what statistics then found from research was that even though 10% of the population is ethnic minority, only 1% was actually visiting the national parks. So from that, Mosaic was born. And Mosaic's whole concept, like I said in the video, is to get more ethnic minorities engaged with the national parks by getting people like us as volunteers to champion the national parks in our urban inner city areas. So we go out to organisations, and there's lots of different things that we do, talking to the media, doing stalls, taking groups out physically. And the flip side of it is what Mosaic gave us was confidence, it gave us skills, it gave us ways of how to, information of how to organise trips, gave us first aid training, it's given us a whole host of things. So at the end of it all, as the project's coming to an end very soon, there's over 200 champions that now exist in the UK that all feel empowered to now take people out independently.
Beautiful, yeah, mashallah, that's beautiful. Okay, so you found out about Mosaic. What was it that actually got you to take that step to say, right, I'm going to get involved?
I think it was, I received an email about it, and at the time I was working with a youth group. And obviously, as my children have got older, I wanted to take them out independently myself, and it couldn't have come at a better time, really. And I thought, oh, how can I benefit now the communities that I work with, the youth groups that I work with, and signed up to Mosaic. And thought, well, it's my way of now re-engaging. It's something that's always been a passion of mine since a child, but it was kind of that doorway to get back out there, really.
Yeah. MashaAllah. Okay, so what about, obviously you've gone out, and as I've done in the past as well, and we've really taken the benefits of the countryside, but have you found that it helped you with your Deen as well in terms of like reflecting? Yeah,
absolutely. I think basically that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
We live in literally a concrete jungle. We work all day, we do a 9 to 5, crazy hours, work weekends, and we don't really get that opportunity to sit back and take some time out. I mean, we pray 5 times a day, and it's very routine. We go to the masjid, but to really reflect and for me anyway, personally, I need to be surrounded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation, and the only way I can do that is to be immersed in it, to be outside and to be in the outdoors. And when I'm out there, it is such an iman boost to be able to see the vastness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creation and then realise, actually, I'm so insignificant. And what I see before me is also Allah's creation.
I think this is why a lot more people could benefit from actually being out there, because no matter how arrogant you might feel, okay, I'm a big, massive business owner and I've got this, I've got this, all these buildings. But when you get out there, you realize that, you know, as you said, you know, just totally insignificant, you know, subhanAllah, it's amazing. And now the phone lines are going to be open, brothers and sisters, because I want you to call in, because what we're going to discuss now is about you getting out there yourselves. And obviously, if you've organized trips before, that's fine, but you know, if you've actually known about the national parks and how far you can actually go, this is the time to find out about it, inshallah. We're going to find out about the campaign for national parks, which is, you know, they're there to help you with all of these things, to make sure that you're safe and to make sure that you know what you're doing as well. There'll be someone that can actually help you. So CMP, Campaign for National Parks, I mean, as you said, they're the ones that set Mosaic up, right? And you said also that Mosaic is going to be finishing, that project is going to finish in June. So someone who's watching now, they might think, okay, well, we're interested in Mosaic and I wanted to become a national community champion. You know, what am I going to do now?
There's still, people can still get involved. The ways that people can still be involved and they can still champion their national park. They can either speak to the national park. I mean, if you don't know where your local national park is, just have a look on the internet and look at the nearest national park there is to you.
So tell us a little bit about, you know, I mean, someone might be curious now or may not know, what is a national park? Because, okay, we've seen the Lake District, so obviously we know that's a national park. But there are other regions, isn't it? So name a few, maybe for example.
Yeah, there's 10 altogether.
10 national parks, okay.
10 altogether national parks. There's if you look at the northern areas, there's the Lake District, there's Peak District, there's Northumberland, which is near to Middlesbrough, there's the Yorkshire Dales, which is near to Bradford. If we come further down, there's the South Downs, which is nearest to London, I think, and there's New Forest, there's Exmoor, Dartmoor. Wow. So there's quite a few.
So, and are they all available, for example, on the website? Can you go on the website and say, right, let's go here, or is it as simple as that?
Yeah, you just, all you do is have a look at your local area, look at where the nearest national park is to you, and you can have a look. All national parks have their own website, so if you go on the internet and just do some research, you can quite easily find, they all have their own website, so you'll be able to get, from their websites, get information of places to visit and things to do and what activities are on at the moment. So you can get quite a lot of information from the websites.
Let's just say now, you know, somebody might ask, like, you know, look, we're a modest family, we might be a modest Asian family, you know, we're a bit worried that we might go out to this vast expanse, isolated, you know, middle of nowhere, and maybe there's some group of, like, you know, unsavory characters who want to do some harm to us, so maybe we're scared to go out there. I mean, how would you address something like that?
Many people do think that national parks, well, I've experienced that. A lot of people think national parks, what is it? They think it's just a vast land of nothing. A lot of national parks actually aren't like that. People live in the national parks. There's villages in the national parks. Each national park is quite different. Like the Lake District's got a lot of lakes. The Peak District's got a lot of caves and mining and things like that. New Forest is known for its forests. And again, a lot of these national parks have people that actually live there. And I think my advice always is to people is, if you're going out for the first time, you've done your research on the internet and you found your local national park, then get in touch with the visitor centre at that national park. So, for example, like the Lake District that you saw in the video, that people saw in the video, you want to go to the Lake District, but you've never been before, and you need to find out where it is that you want to go, and you're a modest family. So you'd phone up the visitor centre and you just say to them, look, I'm a family. Explain to them what it is that you're looking for, and they're very happy to help you and guide you and tell you where there's places to stay, what activities there are, and what things they're on, basically.
That the lady Nikki on the video, she was such a lovely lady and so just generous and so friendly. You know, is that a common characteristic of the people in that region, or in any national parks?
I think, again, even in my own experience, you know, when I was re-engaging with the national parks, I did feel, you know, how am I going to be received? I wear hijab, I wear jilbab. What's the experience going to be like? And I have to, hand on my heart, I have to say, it's been so positive. I've been always so well received. And the nicest thing about being in the outdoors is everybody stops to say hello. And it's a beautiful sunnah that other people practice, mashallah, but everybody stops to say hello. Everybody will stop to say, how's your day going? Or what walk have you been on? Or what mountain did you climb today?
And do you know what's funny as well? Because when in London or in the cities, we're so used to when someone says, oh, it's a nice day, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, oh, they're just making conversation, but out there they actually mean it. It's a good day for a walk.
Yeah.
You know, you cover great distance today and all this kind of stuff, so it is amazing.
Yeah.
Mashallah. Okay, before actually, brothers and sisters, don't forget, because we're not going to, this show, as you know, is always too short. And if you've got any questions for Aisha, if you're a sister, for example, and you're thinking to yourself, how on earth am I going to go out there trudging on these great high mountains in just my abaya? Here is the person to ask, so call in now. Okay, mashallah, we have a caller now, inshallah, so let's take that call. Assalamu alaikum, caller.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sister. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
What's your name? Where are you calling from, sis?
My name's Shaz. I'm calling from Sheffield.
From Sheffield, okay, mashallah. How do you feel about this, you know, the opportunities of getting out to the national parks? Have you been out there yourself?
I think it's brilliant, and that's one of the reasons why I'm calling into the show. It's nice to see something different and something refreshing.
Mashallah.
And, you know, the video that you played at the beginning and just listening to Sister Aisha talk about the outdoors and, you know, how it's helped her connect with and reflect, you know, about her own relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I think it's just brilliant.
Beautiful, isn't it? Really?
It is.
Yeah,
it really is. It
mashallah.
really inspired me to sort of get out there and sort of explore a bit more with friends and family. Just a question for Sister Aisha, really. You know, you mentioned that Mosaic project will be coming to an end. So how can we sort of, are there going to be any more projects and opportunities where we can sort of get involved or even become community champions? You know, is there anything in place or anything that we can get involved in?
Like I was saying before...
She's in there, that camera there.
Oh, okay. Like I was saying before, Shazana, what it is that there's obviously, as the project comes to an end, the best way forward is to actually get in contact either with CMP directly or get in touch directly with the national park itself, and they'll be able to give you information. We do have, hopefully, we're thinking of starting up a national network of Mosaic community champions because the project will come to an end. Because we want to carry on with the work that's going on, we want to develop a national network of community champions, and there will still be opportunities for people to get involved with the national network. I mean, that's still in the pipeline. We're still in trying to arrange and finalise all of that. But yeah, there will be opportunities for people to get involved, but the first point of call is maybe get in touch with your national park directly and say, look, you know, I'm interested in getting involved, how can I volunteer? Because now even though I'm a community champion, I'm also a volunteer for the Lake District, so there is lots of ways that you can still get involved.
Mashallah.
Oh, thank you, brilliant. I'll definitely look into that.
Jazakallah khair, sister. Thank you for calling.
Jazakallah khair.
Inshallah, join us again another time, yeah? Okay, Jazakallah khair. We're going to have a caller as well. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Brother, Jazakallah khair for calling in. What's your name? Where you calling from, bro?
My name's Asad, and I'm calling from Bury, Lancashire.
Okay, mashallah. How come everyone's ringing from up north? This is a conspiracy.
We have a lot of natural beauty up north.
We
know how to appreciate it.
You do, mashallah, mashallah.
I just wanted to congratulate Sister Aisha for her initiative and her endeavours. I think what she's doing is absolutely fabulous, encouraging people to get out there, and I hope many more groups and organisations engage with her. I just wanted to share our personal experience of the Lake District, which we had last year. I mean, we took our 4-month-old baby with us, and we stayed in a family-run bed and breakfast. And I must say that the people there made us extremely welcome. I mean, we had the same apprehensions. Wife wears hijab. We thought we'd be the only people who were obviously Muslim there, and that was true, but we never felt unwelcome at any point. I mean, the owners of the bed and breakfast even said, we'll go and buy you some halal meat. And it was going to be quite far for them to go and get that meat. And just wanted to say, please please don't be apprehensive or afraid about going and visiting the national parks. We went to a lake called Wastwater, which is absolutely stunning. And there's just so many lakes and valleys to explore. And I'd strongly encourage anybody viewing to just make that step and not hesitate for a moment.
Amazing, bro.
Jazakallah
Jazakallah for that, bro. Thank you very
khair.
much. That's really inspiring, man.
Mashallah.
Jazakallah khair. Actually, we've got another call as well, Aisha, so you've really got the calls coming in. So we'll take that. Assalamu alaikum, caller.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Akhi, Jazakallah khair. Tell us what your name is and what part of North are you ringing from?
Well, I'm ringing from the West London, and my name is Mohsin Shirazi.
Oh, mashallah. Jazakallah khair. Welcome thank you for calling in, bro. What would you like to say? Sister Aisha is here for you to...
Yeah, I need to ask some questions, sister, because we are planning to go this summer to Lake District.
Excellent.
But I got a 3-month-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. And my friends got 2 kids as well. But we're thinking to go there and camping. Can we go do the camping there, or we have to book the B&B?
Do you know what? Lake District's actually fantastic for camping, and they have these amazing pods which are like in further up north near Rydal Hall. There are these pods which are like, you don't have to take a tent, so it's like the whole camping experience. Without actually having to take a tent with you. So you're still in the outdoors, but you have these built pods that you can stay in. And I think there's quite a few people that can actually bed in there. It's an amazing, especially if you're going camping for the first time. It's an amazing experience. I've not done it yet, but I want to take my kids actually, because I thought they've not done full-on camping yet. But it's very practical, and because it's on a site, there will be the facilities like toilets and washrooms and things like that that you'll have access to. So it's a good place to start if you're going to go, if you're looking at camping. The other options are even youth hostels, even though you have shared bathrooms and shower rooms, what it is that they have family rooms, so you can have a room up to 6 people, or 12 people, depending on the size of the hostel. Or family rooms of 4, so they're good places to stay as well, and they're quite economical, as in financially they're quite reasonable.
What does it work out cost-wise for a family room in a youth hostel?
You're looking at between £16 per person per bed, approximately. That's a very rough approximate.
Okay, do we need to book in advance?
Yeah, I would say yes, book in advance.
Or we can go there and there, then the place... Because we're going obviously in a very busy time.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I think we need to book in advance for camping or...
Yeah, I would definitely suggest book in advance. They do get booked up very early. I tried to book for the half-term holidays, and I was trying to book 2 weeks before. Everywhere was booked. Hotels, bed and breakfasts, youth hostels. Everywhere was booked. I couldn't get anywhere, so I would definitely recommend to book in advance.
Okay, Jazakallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling in, brother, mashallah. I'm glad that you were motivated by that video as well, mashallah. I mean, yeah, exactly. So the youth hostel thing, that's another option as well, isn't it? And you mentioned these pods and the whole camping thing. I mean, there's something for everyone, really, isn't there? Like in terms of groups and stuff like that. You know, mashallah, I don't know. I'm just thinking in terms of... the campaign for national parks, and when somebody wants to go out there, it probably... What about the rangers? Is it park rangers out there? I mean, can they organise? Can you organise tours? That is what I'm trying to say. If I can get the words out.
Yeah. What there is on offer is if you have a look at the events guide for the national park that you're going to visit. They have a lot of guided walks, and it's always, if you're going for the first time, I'd recommend that you go on one of the guided walks, because you have a qualified or someone who is quite knowledgeable about the area that will then take the group up. And once you've done it once with a group on a guided walk, then you can always go back and do it again on your own. But it's doing it for the first time. So it's always best to then go on one of these guided walks, and there's so many throughout the year. It's just a matter of getting on the internet, having a look at what events, on the events guides of the national park that you're going to visit, and have a look at what days are guided walks. And they have them designed for young children, which are shorter and they're on level ground. that are pram friendly, that are wheelchair friendly. So there's so many different rates, so they'll rate them as easy, moderate or hard. So you can then choose which walk that you want to go on.
MashaAllah. And brothers and sisters as well, the other thing is like the beauty of the countryside is that it is actually quite, you know, it's varied, it's diverse, so it's not the same, it's not like you go to one place and it will be the same as everywhere else. So we've touched upon the Lake District today, and it is a spectacular place, and if you haven't been there, you really have to go, and I insist. But actually there's also other parts as well. So where we are in London, for example, as Aisha mentioned, the nearest national park to us here is the South Downs. And that is pretty much 100 miles or more of just beautiful countryside. You've got like the cliffs by the sea, you've got, you know, you've got shorefront, you've got the whole work. So you can actually just Google it, or again, go onto the Campaign for National Parks website, and you can just go and just plan a trip as well. So, you know, from where we are here in London, for example, it may take about an hour and a half to get there. And when you get there, it's amazing countryside. It's not, you know, it's not just a couple of fields. It's a lot more than that. You know, so that's how you can plan your trip. You can either say, okay, look, let's go for a little short one, hour and a half, or let's go for a really amazing one. And again, from London, we're talking about 5.5 hours to get there, but it's worth it. And it's a whole trip along the way, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think the nicest thing about when you go to any national park is it's not costly. It costs you your petrol there and your petrol back. And you'll take a picnic, take a hamper with you, get all your friends or your children's friends or your family together. Everybody takes their cars, and you take a convoy up. You pick a spot. One person takes the initiative to find a location that you want to visit, and you have a lovely day out. And it's a really enjoyable day to spend some quality family time together.
And do you know what's amazing as well, Aisha? You know the visitor centre where we done that little interview with Nikki. I thought that was an amazing place. I mean, the first time I went to Lake District, I went on my own, on my motorbike. It was really beautiful, fantastic day, and I wish I had time to tell the viewers about that now, but another time. I'll gossip all day with that one. But it was an amazing time. But obviously you've been on your own and you have a lot of reflection, but there are times when you want to have a little bit of interaction. And at the time I was staying in this quaint little old B&B, and there was no one else there staying at the time, so I had a lot of time to write, I had a lot of work to do. But when we went to that interview with Nikki, that was just down the road of where I was staying, and that centre is an amazing place. I mean, tell us a little bit about it, because obviously the viewers didn't get a chance to see it. What do you find inside the visitor centre?
The visitor centre is your one-stop shop, really, of the national park. So you'll be able to pick up literature about what walks there are there, what activities there are there to do. Lots of information. A lot of the visitor centres have obviously facilities for children. They have activities there. Some visitor centres have exhibitions. It just depends. Some of them have cafes. A lot of them actually have cafes. So there's a place to eat, a place to relax. They have ample parking, and it's a good place to just be able to collect your thoughts. As soon as you
get your bearings,
work out where you want to go next, and then pick up leaflets, and then you can kind of think, right, okay, we'll go here and we'll go here. And then the nicest thing about it is that the staff that work there are so happy to help you. If you say, look, I'm here with my 3 children on my own, and I want to go somewhere that is child friendly, or somewhere the kids will enjoy, where can I go? They'll be able to tell you what locations are available in the Lake District, or whatever national park you're in, and say, okay, maybe you should try this place or this place or this place. So it's a good place to start when you're going up to any national park.
Yeah, mashallah. Again, in terms of that, I mean, that's another option as well. Someone could just maybe look up where a visitor centre is, and then they can just start their journey or their trip from there, can't they? They can go and say, right, what we're going to do today. Ullswater, for example, the boat in Ullswater, that's a nice sort of thing that someone can do as well, isn't it? Yeah, mashallah. I mean, again, sisters now, very quickly, no one rang in to ask, we've only got about a minute left. There you are in your abaya, right, you've got all your gear, the hijab, and you're on some very precarious precipices walking across. I mean, is it dangerous? What's it like?
It can be. You do have to be practical. Sometimes the jilbab isn't. I have done helvellin across Striding Edge, which is this wide, and it has sheer drops on both sides. That wasn't practical in jilbab, I had to hike it up.
But you made it okay though.
I made it okay, alhamdulillah. But I did have to think of, you have to look at practicalities really. But you
stay safe.
Yeah, and stay safe. Good shoes. If you're wearing a jilbab, make sure it's lightweight, cotton, and things like that.
Actually, you know what? This is the time when I always cry. It's the end of the show, and what an amazing show. But subhanAllah. Brothers and sisters, let me ask you something. Were you moved by this video on this show? Were you moved by the show? Then move, get out there and do it for yourself. My thanks to Sister Aisha Mirza for Mosaic. Brothers and sisters, we're going to see you again soon, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh Allah, I'm asking you to make me from those who love you, and for those who love you to love me too.